I've already done a video which apps I have on my iPhone 6s Plus. Now it's time to show you which apps I use on my iPad Air 2. The iPad is not a one-handed device. You always use both hands, so the order of the apps doesn't matter on the iPad, at least not for me. But I have the most important apps at the bottom. So we start with the iMovie app. Of course, that is a very important app for me because I'm a YouTuber. I edit all my videos in iMovie. And the other app that is very important to me is Editorial. And Editorial is a really advanced text editor that has Python built in. So you can create very advanced workflows with Python in Editorial. So for example, I can do a workflow that links automatically to my different web pages. So for example, when I type the word Apple, the workflow automatically links to my Apple web page. And here you can see, for example, that when I type the word YouTube, it automatically links to my YouTube channel. And you can do a lot of cool stuff in Editorial. Here is just a few of all the workflows that I use. And you also have a workflow directory where users upload their workflows that you can install. So Editorial is a very important app to me. I can't be without Editorial, really. And of course I have Safari at the bottom. And I also have Drafts, a note-taking app at the bottom here. It's a very simple and fast note-taking app, but also quite advanced because you can use actions in Drafts. So you can send the content that you write in Drafts to other apps, for example, and services. So this is a very good app. I use it a lot. And I also have OmniFocus at the bottom. It's my task management system that I use for getting things done. And I have tried a lot of different task management apps, and OmniFocus is simply the best of them. And to me, the best email app at the moment for Gmail accounts is Inbox by Gmail. I've tried a lot of different emailing apps and they are really good and useful, but many of the apps are not available for the iPad, so I stick to Inbox by Gmail now and I like it a lot. But I also need my Exchange account, my email Exchange account, and Inbox by Gmail can't use Exchange accounts, so I have to use Apple's mail app, the default mail app. And for Twitter I use the official Twitter app because I think the official Twitter app is the best app of them all. Tweetbot and Twitterific is also good apps, but to me the official Twitter app is the best because it has more features, because some of the features are not available in third-party Twitter apps. And I use iMessage a lot, and also mind maps. iThoughts, the app here, is for mind maps. And iThoughts is the best mind mapping app I have tried. And in mind maps, I often create mind maps with my thoughts, and when I've done the mind map, I export them as markdown code so I can use it in my blog posts. That's how I use mind maps. And I also use Day One. It's a journaling app. So I write in Day One daily because I need to write down all my thoughts and what I have done during the day and so on. It's a very good way to empty your head with your thoughts. So journaling is a very good way to be more productive and be more happy with your life, for example. So I use Day One. I think that's the best journaling app on the market. And I use Google Plus a lot, but the app sucks now, so I use Google Plus in Safari instead now. And Flipboard is my new favorite social network. Yes, I know that Flipboard is not new, but it's new for being used as a social network, I think. And I really like using Flipboard as a social network. And I read a lot, so I have a folder with a lot of reading apps. I love reading ebooks, for example, so I use iBooks a lot for that. And I have some speed reading apps like Lids, Outread, ReadMe, for example. And I also use Goodreads. It's an excellent social network for book lovers. And I use Nuzzle for my news. So, for example, this is how Nuzzle looks on the iPad. And it uses my Twitter and Facebook accounts to get the most popular news, so you don't have to search for news that you like, because Nuzzle often shows you the best news possible. And I also have Twitterific when I want to read Twitter, so I can use filters in Twitterific that filters out tweets that I don't want to see, and then just see the tweets I want. Alien Blue, it's a Reddit app for reading Reddit streams. Kaibook is another ebook reader. VoiceStream is an awesome app that converts text to speech. And you can buy really professional voices in VoiceStream. So VoiceStream reads the text for you, and it supports PDF, text files, EPUB books, and a lot more. So you can make text to be like audiobooks, really. And photography is another folder with apps for my photos and so on. I use it mostly for thumbnails for my YouTube videos and so on, and I like Over for that. Over is an excellent app to add the text and other images above another image and make logos and so on. And I also use Google Photo instead of iCloud Photo Library, so I can store all my photos and videos in Google Photos totally free. I have a lot of video clips, for example, that I use in my YouTube videos that I store in Google Photos, so I can always have them ready wherever I am. And Pixelmator and Screenshot and a lot of other apps to make photos. Text Grabber is an awesome app to grab text from photos. So for example, if you take a photo or a screenshot where it's text in the image, then Text Grabber takes that text and makes it like a real text that you can store in your note-taking app, for example, or anywhere really. And I also use Puffin a lot, because Puffin have a real desktop experience on the web. So you can, for example, use the Blogger design features and so on that you can't do in Safari. And it also have a trackpad and a mouse pointer, so you can do really advanced stuff directly in the web browser. And as I said, it's a real desktop experience because it actually uses a desktop web browser over a server. And I use Chrome sometimes, for example, when I'm on my YouTube channel and do some changes. And I have a lot of apps in my MISC folder, Facebook app and GarageBand and Tweetbot, Overcast for podcasts, for example, and Microsoft OneNote, Evernote, Hangouts and other stuff. I use Instapaper instead of Pocket nowadays for my read later articles. And I use YouTube Studio, Creator Studio app a lot to see stats and other stuff about my videos and see all the comments on my videos and reply to comments and so on. And of course I use the YouTube app, App Store and settings and camera, calendar and watch. The calendar app is Apple's default calendar app. I don't use calendar so much because I use OmniFocus for my task management. This is the apps I use the most. Then I have some more apps, of course, on page 2, but I don't use them as much. I have the Mouse Lite remote app to have a mouse and a keyboard on my iPad that is for remote controlling my Mac. Works really good. I have the Lite version on the iPad because I use the Pro version on my iPhone, but you have to buy it on both iPhone and iPad. And I don't use the iPad much as a remote control, so the Lite version is enough for me. And Just Press Record is an awesome audio recording app to record audio directly to iCloud Drive. Works really good. And Ferrite is another audio recording that is awesome. You can have multi-tracks even and a lot of effects and so on. And Pocket, I don't use that anymore, but I have a beta account. That's why I have Pocket left. And Opinion is an audio recording app to make podcasts. Works really good. You can even upload your podcast for free to Opinion servers. And BitTorrent Sync is an awesome app to have your own cloud storage, so you can get to your hard drives that are connected to your Mac or PC at home, or even your hard drives connected to the Airport Extreme router, for example. And Clips is a clipboard manager that I use a lot to store everything I copy to clipboard. Bank ID is for my internet bank, and Yahoo Weather is a weather app. And Google Translate I use sometimes to translate words that I want to write that I don't know how they spell, for example. Apple Maps, my internet bank. Box is a cloud storage, and I am a heavy SwiftKey user. I'm a SwiftKey beta user. I like that keyboard a lot. And Text Expander is a really cool app to expand text snippets. So you can do some advanced expandings. You can have a menu with different choices, for example, when typing a shortcut. 1Password for some of my passwords, mainly for my credit cards and so on. And then some Apple apps and Dropbox, and BBQ is my app to see how fast my internet is. So that's some more apps that I use sometimes. And the last page is apps that I don't use so much at all, really. I don't use them directly. I have them installed because sometimes I use them or to test them and so on. So this is the apps I use the most on my iPad.